Imagine this. Someone insults you in public, belittles your work, or disrespects you in front of others. The usual response: anger, frustration, maybe even the urge to retaliate. But what if I told you there's a way to be completely unshakable, so calm and composed that no insult, no action, no person could ever rattle you again? Sounds impossible, right? Well, the Stoics, the ancient philosophers who mastered the art of inner peace, have cracked the code on how to stay calm in the face of any storm. Anger is one of the most destructive emotions. It clouds your judgment, ruins relationships, and gives control to those who provoke you. But what if you could turn off that emotional trigger? What if, instead of reacting impulsively, you could maintain your composure and keep your peace no matter what happens around you? The good news, you can, and it's simpler than you think. By learning how to control your perception, focus on what truly matters, and cultivate a mindset of indifference to external provocations, you can unlock the ultimate power of emotional freedom. This isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending nothing bothers you. It's about mastering your responses so that no one else has control over your emotional state. The ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, have already paved the way. Now it's your turn to harness these timeless strategies and build a mindset so unshakable, nothing can touch you. Ready to discover how? Let's dive in. One of the most powerful tools in the pursuit of emotional control is the ability to reframe insult. In a world where people are quick to judge, criticize, and belittle others, the sting of insults can often feel unbearable. But what if you could reframe those insults in a way that not only shields you from their emotional impact, but also transforms them into opportunities for growth? This shift in perspective is at the heart of mastering emotional resilience, and it begins with understanding the power of perception. Seneca, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, famously said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." What he meant is that the pain we feel from insults often comes not from the words themselves, but from the way we interpret them. When someone criticizes you or hurls an insult your way, your mind immediately jumps into action, assessing the words and assigning meaning to them. That meaning, however, is not fixed, it's subjective. In other words, an insult only has power over you if you allow it to. When someone insults you, the first step to reframing it is to ask yourself, is this really about me? More often than not, the negativity of others has little to do with you and everything to do with their own struggles or insecurities. People project their internal battles onto others, and their words reflect their state of mind more than they reflect your character or value. When you realize that insults are often rooted in the other person's frustration, jealousy, or lack of self-awareness, it becomes easier to dismiss them. Take a moment to pause before reacting. Instead of immediately feeling hurt or angry, try to adopt the mindset that their words are a reflection of their issues, not yours. By detaching yourself from the emotional charge of the insult, you allow yourself to gain control over the situation. In essence, you are taking away the power the insult once held over you. This practice of detachment is key in maintaining your peace, no matter how others may try to disturb it. Reframing insults also means shifting your focus to the bigger picture. It's easy to get caught up in the moment, focusing solely on the hurtful words. But by stepping back and putting the insult into perspective, you can see that it is, in the grand scheme of things, insignificant. Ask yourself questions like, does this comment really impact my goal? Does it reflect the truth of who I am? Will this matter in a week, a month, or a year? Most of the time the answer will be no. Another important part of reframing insults is recognizing that everyone has a different set of values and experiences that shape how they view the world. What one person deems an insult might be inconsequential to another. This is why, as much as you may feel that a certain comment is offensive, it may be worth considering that the person who made it may simply have a different perspective or way of communicating. This does not justify their behavior, but it can help you detach from the idea that their words are a direct attack on your worth. By understanding that other people's views are filtered through their own lens of experiences, You can avoid internalizing their negative opinion. Furthermore, by reframing insults, you open the door to personal growth. Rather than seeing criticism as something to be avoided, you can use it as a tool for self-improvement. If someone critiques your work, instead of feeling defensive or hurt, ask yourself, is there any truth to this feedback? How can I use it to improve? By focusing on the constructive aspects of an insult and ignoring the emotional charge behind it, you can turn potential negativity into an opportunity for learning and growth. In the end, the power of reframing insults lies in your ability to control your perception. You are not a passive recipient of other people's words. You are an active participant in how you respond to them. The more you practice reframing insults, the easier it becomes to navigate life without being weighed down by the opinions of others. It's about building emotional resilience, taking responsibility for your own feelings, and choosing how to respond rather than simply react. By understanding that insults often have more to do with the person delivering them than with you, stepping back to gain perspective, and using criticism as a tool for growth, you can free yourself from the emotional burden that insults often impose. In doing so, you take control of your own peace and empower yourself to live a life unshaken by the negativity of others. One of the most powerful principles of Stoic philosophy is the idea of focusing only on what is within your control and letting go of what is not. This simple yet profound concept can completely transform your life by reducing stress, enhancing your emotional resilience, and helping you lead a more peaceful existence. In a world where we're constantly bombarded by external pressures and unpredictable events, mastering this principle allows you to navigate life's challenges with calmness and clarity. At its core, this idea is about understanding that while we can control our thoughts, reactions, and actions, many things in life are beyond our influence. These may include the behavior of others, the weather, societal events, or the outcomes of situations we cannot directly affect. The Stoics teach us that these external factors should not be a source of distress or frustration, because ultimately they do not lie within our power to change. Consider a scenario where someone criticizes your work or insults you publicly. It's easy to feel anger or resentment rise within you. However, the Stoic approach asks you to step back and ask yourself, can I control their words or actions? The answer is no. What you can control, however, is how you respond to their behavior. You can choose to take the insult personally, reacting with anger and frustration, or you can choose to remain composed, realizing that their words reflect more about them than about you. In this situation, you have full control over your emotional response, but no power over their action. This distinction between what is within your control and what is not is essential for mental peace. By focusing on your own responses, you essentially free yourself from the need to constantly manage or change external circumstances. This does not mean you should become indifferent to everything happening around you or resign yourself to passivity. Rather, it means choosing your battles wisely and putting your energy into what truly matters, the aspects of life where your actions can make a tangible difference. One of the most common sources of frustration comes from our attempts to control things that are inherently uncontrollable. We may try to change someone's opinion of us, manipulate the outcome of an event, or alter someone else's behavior. However, the more energy we put into these fruitless efforts, the more we deplete ourselves emotionally and mentally. This focus on the uncontrollable often leads to stress and burnout because we're fighting battles we're never meant to win. The key to overcoming this is to acknowledge and accept that there are forces at play that are simply beyond our influence. Recognizing this doesn't make you weak or passive. Instead, it gives you the mental clarity to let go of unnecessary worry and focus on what you can do. For example, you can't control the outcome of an election or a global crisis, but you can control how you react to the news, how you manage your emotions, and how you use your resources to navigate the situation. You may not be able to control a colleague's rude behavior, but you can choose whether to engage with them in a way that maintains your peace, or to set boundaries that protect your well-being. The practice of controlling what you can and ignoring what you can't requires a shift in mindset. It demands a high level of self-awareness and emotional discipline, but it is entirely achievable. One way to start cultivating this mindset is through regular reflection. Journaling your thoughts, reactions, and the situations that triggered you can help you identify patterns in your behavior and emotion. When faced with a challenging situation, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, remind yourself that investing energy in it is futile, and instead, focus on what you can control, like your attitude or your next action. Over time, practicing this principle will bring you greater peace and equanimity. You'll become less reactive, more resilient, and better equipped to handle life's inevitable challenges. Instead of feeling helpless or frustrated when things don't go your way, you'll have the clarity to focus on what truly matters. Your peace of mind will no longer depend on the unpredictable whims of the outside world, but on your ability to control your own thoughts and actions. In the end, control what you can, ignore what you can't, isn't just a philosophy, it's a way of life. It's a practice that, when embraced, allows you to reclaim your personal power and live with purpose and serenity, regardless of the chaos around you. Negative visualization may sound like an unusual concept at first, especially when we're often encouraged to focus on positive thinking. But in the ancient Stoic philosophy, it was considered one of the most powerful tools for cultivating resilience, peace of mind, and emotional stability. The idea is simple. By mentally preparing for the worst possible scenarios, we can better handle the inevitable challenges and setbacks that life throws at us. Instead of being blindsided by disappointment or failure, we are mentally equipped to handle any situation with grace and equanimity. What is negative visualization? At its core, negative visualization involves imagining the worst-case scenario in a given situation. The goal isn't to dwell in negativity or indulge in self-pity, but rather to confront the fears and anxieties we often avoid. By imagining the worst outcomes, we reduce the power that fear and uncertainty hold over us. This mental exercise allows us to appreciate what we have, and when the worst doesn't happen, we feel a deeper sense of gratitude and resilience. For example, if you're concerned about losing your job, negative visualization might involve imagining how you would cope if that were to happen. You might picture the financial strain, the difficulty of finding a new job, or the emotional toll of rejection. But rather than remaining stuck in fear, you then focus on the fact that you could survive these difficulties. You could find another job, tighten your budget, or perhaps even use the time to explore new opportunities you hadn't considered before. By confronting the possibility head-on, you give yourself the clarity and peace to deal with it when it happens or when it doesn't. The Stoic roots of negative visual. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, practiced a form of negative visualization known as premeditation malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils. This technique was an essential part of their daily routine. The Stoics believed that by anticipating challenges and setbacks, they could prepare themselves mentally for anything that life might throw their way. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often reflected on the inevitability of suffering and misfortune. He reminded himself that people would be rude, life would be difficult, and things wouldn't always go as planned. But instead of letting these thoughts lead to despair or anxiety, he used them as reminders to remain grounded, to focus on what he could control, and to stay true to his own values. In this way, negative visualization became a powerful tool for keeping his emotions in check, even during the most tumultuous times. How negative visualization builds resilience. One of the main benefits of negative visualization is that it prepares you for adversity. When you regularly practice imagining worst-case scenarios, you train your mind to remain calm and composed when faced with difficulty. Instead of being overwhelmed by fear, anger, or frustration, you respond from a place of acceptance and understanding. You know that hardship is a part of life and that you have the tools to navigate it. By practicing negative visualization, you also learn to embrace gratitude. When you think about losing something you value, whether it's your job, your health, or a relationship, you realize just how precious it is. The simple act of contemplating loss can make you more appreciative of what you currently have. It brings a heightened sense of presence and encourages you to focus on what truly matters in your life. Furthermore, negative visualization prevents disappointment. Often we set ourselves up for emotional turmoil because we expect things to always go our way. When they don't, we're blindsided by frustration. However, by preparing ourselves for challenges in advance, we recalibrate our expectations. We stop believing that life owes us anything and start accepting whatever comes our way with grace. This mental shift makes us more adaptable and emotionally resilient in the face of setbacks. The practical application of negative visualization. Incorporating negative visualization into your daily routine doesn't need to be a time-consuming or complicated practice. Here's how you can start. Identify potential challenges. Think about areas in your life where you're currently facing uncertainty or anxiety. This could be a new project at work, an important relationship, or a health issue. What is the worst thing that could happen? Take a few moments to really imagine it in detail. Visualize how you would cope. Once you've imagined the worst-case scenario, think about how you would respond. What steps could you take to manage the situation? How could you remain calm and resourceful? This is your opportunity to build mental resilience and strengthen your ability to cope with adversity. 3. Practice gratitude. After visualizing the worst, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for in your life. This could be your health, your loved ones, or the opportunities in front of you. Recognize that even in difficult times, there's always something to appreciate. 4. Return to the present moment. Negative visualization doesn't mean dwelling in negative. Once you've imagined potential difficulties and reassured yourself that you can handle them, return to the present moment. Focus on what you can do today to improve your life and move forward with confidence. Negative visualization is not about preparing for doom and gloom. It's about empowering yourself to handle whatever life throws your way. By regularly practicing this technique, you'll develop a mental fortitude that can help you navigate challenges with resilience and grace. It's not about avoiding pain or difficulty, but accepting them as part of the human experience. By facing your fears head-on and realizing that you have the strength to handle them, you free yourself from the grip of anxiety and live with a deeper sense of peace and appreciation for the present moment. One of the most powerful ways to protect your peace of mind and emotional stability is to respond with indifference. It may sound counterintuitive at first. How can being indifferent possibly be the solution to conflict or disrespect? However, responding with indifference is a key principle that the Stoics, ancient philosophers, renowned for their emotional resilience, practiced to maintain control over their emotions and their lives. What does responding with indifference really? Responding with indifference doesn't mean being apathetic or cold-hearted. It's not about avoiding engagement altogether or pretending that nothing matters. Instead, it means not allowing other people's words or actions to dictate your emotional state. It is about recognizing that you have control over your reactions, and that giving a reaction, especially one based on anger or frustration, only empowers the person provoking you. Indifference, in this context, is the deliberate choice not to let external circumstances, opinions, or insults disturb your inner peace. It's the ability to stay grounded, no matter how much chaos or negativity swirls around you. When you practice indifference, you remove yourself from the emotional grip that others may try to put on you, and you regain control of your own emotional state. Why does indifference work? When someone insults you or acts disrespectfully, they are attempting to trigger a reaction. They might want to make you angry, upset, or defensive. By responding with indifference, you take away their power. You remove their ability to manipulate your emotions. Think of it like a fire. If you don't provide oxygen, the fire will quickly burn out. In the same way, if you don't feed into the negativity with a reaction, the power of that insult or provocation diminishes. This doesn't mean ignoring or tolerating poor behavior. It means choosing not to let the insult or the actions of others dictate how you feel. By responding with indifference, you prevent your emotions from being hijacked, giving you the freedom to decide how to respond, or whether to respond at all. How indifference leads to personal strength. One of the biggest misconceptions about indifference is that it signifies weakness or an inability to engage with others. In reality, it requires great strength to remain unmoved by provocations. The ability to stay indifferent shows emotional maturity, and it reflects self-awareness and a deep understanding that external events do not need to shape your internal experience. When you allow yourself to react emotionally to every insult, criticism or disrespect, you're giving away your personal power. Your emotions are being controlled by other people, situations and circumstances. However, by practicing indifference, you stop giving away this power. You become more centered and grounded, less likely to be swayed by others' moods or behaviors. How to cultivate indifference in your life. Shift your perspective. Often, the way we perceive others' actions is what causes us to react emotionally. If you view someone's rude behavior as a reflection of their internal struggles, rather than an attack on you, it becomes easier to remain indifferent. Ask yourself, why are they acting this way? Understand that their behavior says more about them than it does about you. When you reframe their actions, it becomes easier to detach emotionally. Practice emotional detachment. Detaching emotionally from situations allows you to see things clearly without getting caught up in the drama. Instead of reacting immediately, take a deep breath and observe how you feel. Is it anger, frustration, or defensiveness? Recognizing these emotions allows you to decide how you want to respond. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to stay calm and indifferent in stressful situations. Don't take things personally. Often we take offense when others treat us poorly, but it's crucial to remember that their actions are more about them than they are about us. People are often motivated by their own frustrations, insecurities, or agendas. When you realize this, their words or actions lose their power to hurt you. 4. Practice non-reaction. Instead of immediately reacting to every situation, practice responding with calm and control. This doesn't mean ignoring people or pretending nothing happened. It means choosing to pause and reflect before responding. Respond with indifference by simply acknowledging the situation without emotional involvement. A smile, a nod, or walking away is sometimes the most powerful response you can give. 5. Build inner peace through meditation and self-reflection. Cultivating a strong sense of inner peace is crucial for being indifferent to the external world. Meditation, journaling, and regular self-reflection help you build emotional resilience and strengthen your ability to remain indifferent. The more centered you are in your own peace, the less likely you are to be shaken by others' negative. The benefits of responding with indifference. When you respond with indifference, you gain a sense of freedom and control over your emotions. You no longer feel the need to engage in every conflict or argument, and you become less reactive to the challenges that life throws your way. Your mental and emotional energy are preserved for things that truly matter: your goals, your relationships, and your peace of mind. Moreover, by not engaging with negative energy, you actually set a positive example for others. People who see that you are unshaken by insults and disrespect often respect you more. They understand that you are in control, not easily manipulated by the whims of others, and that's a sign of strength and confidence. In conclusion, responding with indifference is not about being passive or disengaged. It's about choosing where to direct your energy and how to protect your emotional well-being. By mastering the art of indifference, you empower yourself to stay calm, focused, and unaffected by external negativity, giving you the strength to rise above any provocation. Strengthening your mind through daily discipline is one of the most effective and transformative practices you can embrace. It is the cornerstone of personal growth and the key to mastering your emotions, actions, and thoughts. The mind is incredibly powerful, but like any muscle in the body, it requires regular exercise and intentional care. Without consistent effort, your mental resilience can weaken, leaving you susceptible to distractions, stress and negative emotions. In contrast, daily discipline helps you develop mental toughness, focus and clarity, which allows you to face challenges with a calm and grounded mindset. The importance of mental discipline. In a world filled with distractions, constant noise and unpredictable events, it's easy for the mind to become overwhelmed. Stress, anxiety and anger often arise from a lack of control over our thoughts and reactions. The more we react impulsively, the harder it becomes to maintain peace of mind. Mental discipline, however, serves as a shield against external chaos. It allows you to take control of your inner world and choose how to respond to external circumstances. Without discipline, the mind can drift, become unfocused, and waste energy on irrelevant worries or negative emotions. This is why daily discipline is so crucial. It prevents your thoughts from spiraling and helps you develop the mental strength to stay on track with your goals, values, and actions. The daily practices of mental discipline. To strengthen your mind, you must commit to regular practices that sharpen your focus, cultivate resilience, and foster emotional stability. Here are some proven strategies to help you build mental discipline over time. 1. Meditation and mindfulness. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for mental discipline. By setting aside time each day to meditate, you train your mind to focus on the present moment and detach from distraction. Meditation helps you observe your thoughts without judgment, allowing you to develop awareness and control over your mental state. Whether you practice guided meditation, deep breathing, or mindfulness exercises, these moments of stillness give you the space to clear your mind and Mindfulness is another critical practice that trains you to be fully aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions in real time. It encourages you to observe your impulses and reactions, empowering you to choose a conscious, measured response rather than reacting out of habit or emotion. Journaling and self-reflection. Journaling is an excellent tool for self-reflection, helping you become aware of your inner dialogue and emotional patterns. Taking a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts allows you to process your experiences and gain clarity. It also enables you to identify negative thought patterns, track your progress, and reflect on how you can improve your responses to challenging situations. In your journal, consider writing about moments when you felt stressed, anxious, or angry. Reflect on the situation and analyze your reaction. Were there any triggers? How could you have responded more calmly or thoughtfully? This practice helps you become more self-aware and refine your mental discipline. 3. Setting clear intentions. A disciplined mind begins with a clear sense of purpose and intention. Setting daily goals, whether big or small, provides structure and direction to your day. By aligning your actions with your values and objectives, you train your mind to focus on what truly matters, reducing the likelihood of distractions and emotional turbulence. Each morning, set an intention for the day. It could be something like, I will remain calm in stressful situations, or I will prioritize my mental well-being. Revisit this intention throughout the day to remind yourself of your commitment. The more consistently you set intentions and align your actions with them, the stronger your mind will become. 4. Physical exercise. While physical exercise may seem unrelated to mental discipline, the connection is profound. Regular physical activity not only improves physical health, but also enhances cognitive function, reduces stress, and improves mood. Engaging in exercise releases endorphins, which are natural mood boosters, and it helps to clear the mind, creating a sense of mental clarity. Exercise also teaches discipline and perseverance. Whether you're lifting weights, running, or practicing yoga, sticking to a consistent workout routine strengthens your ability to follow through and stay committed. This mental resilience transfers to other areas of your life, including managing your thoughts and emotions. 5. Limiting distractions. One of the key aspects of mental discipline is the ability to limit distractions and stay focused on the task at hand. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, from social media notifications to email alerts and the constant pull of entertainment. These distractions fragment our attention and make it harder to concentrate and stay productive. To strengthen your mind, set boundaries around distraction. This could mean turning off notifications, setting designated times for social media, or creating a quiet space where you can focus without interruptions. By reducing distractions, you train your mind to focus and maintain clarity. The results of daily discipline. The more you practice daily discipline, the more you will see the results in your life. As your mind becomes sharper and more resilient, you'll find that stress and negative emotions have less control over you. You'll be able to maintain your focus and composure, even in challenging situations. Most importantly, daily discipline empowers you to create the life you want, by helping you stay aligned with your values, goals, and vision. Strengthening your mind through daily discipline is not about perfection, it's about making consistent, incremental progress. Over time, these small efforts will compound, leading to greater mental clarity, emotional stability, and personal growth. The 7-Day Calmness Challenge is designed to help you develop a mindset that remains unshaken no matter what happens around you. It's a simple but powerful practice to build emotional resilience and mental clarity. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with stressors, whether it's work pressure, social media, or just the demands of daily life. These external factors often trigger our emotions and, more often than not, lead to anger, frustration, or even resentment. However, learning to manage your emotions is crucial if you want to lead a peaceful, productive, and fulfilling life. The challenge is straightforward. For the next 7 days, whenever someone provokes you, whether it's through criticism, an insult, or even a slight, your goal is to remain calm and composed. Your reaction will be key. Instead of allowing yourself to get emotionally overwhelmed, practice maintaining your inner peace. This challenge may sound easy at first, but you'll quickly realize that it requires a level of self-discipline and mindfulness that most people rarely practice. Why a 7-day challenge? 7 days is a manageable time frame to kickstart a new habit. While 1 week might seem short, it's enough to create awareness of your emotional triggers and patterns of behavior. During this period, you'll begin to notice the moments when your emotions start to take over, giving you the opportunity to make a conscious choice about how you want to respond. The goal isn't to eliminate emotions, but to train your mind to respond with awareness, rather than reacting impulsively. Step 1. Recognize your triggers. The first step in this challenge is identifying what specifically triggers your anger. Is it criticism from a colleague, an unfair remark from a friend, a frustrating situation at work? Each day as you go about your normal routine, pay attention to the situations that cause a spike in your emotional state. Keep a mental note or even jot it down in a journal. The more aware you become of these triggers, the easier it will be to manage your reactions. Step 2. Pause and breathe. When you're provoked, the natural response is to react immediately, but this is the moment where you have the opportunity to take control. Instead of snapping back or letting your emotions run wild, pause, take a deep breath. This simple action will give you the necessary space to step back from the situation. It allows your mind to disengage from the initial emotional reaction and provides a moment of clarity. Focus on your breath for a few seconds. Inhale deeply, hold and exhale slowly. This helps calm your nervous system, reducing the immediate impulse to react. Step 3. Reframe the situation. After you've taken that pause, the next step is reframing the situation in your mind. Ask yourself a few questions. Is this worth my emotional energy? Why is this bothering me? What is the real issue here? Often our anger is misplaced or exaggerated, based on assumptions, misunderstandings, or external pressures. By reframing the situation, you remind yourself that this moment does not define you, nor does it hold power over your state of mind. The Stoics were masters at reframing. Marcus Aurelius, for example, often reminded himself that he would encounter people who are rude, selfish, or disrespectful, but that he would not let these encounters disturb his peace. By preparing yourself mentally each day for possible challenges, you become less likely to be shaken by them. Step 4. Respond calmly or with indifference. One of the most powerful ways to disarm a provocative situation is to respond with calmness or indifference. When you choose not to react with anger or frustration, you disarm the other person's ability to provoke you. Anger thrives on confrontation, but indifference is like water to fire. It suffocates it. In many cases, those who try to provoke you are simply looking for a reaction. When you don't give them the satisfaction of one, their power over you dissipates. This doesn't mean you ignore the situation completely. It simply means that you choose not to engage emotionally. You can acknowledge the situation calmly, smile, or even walk away. Remember, the key here is to choose your response consciously, rather than reacting impulsively. Step 5. Reflect and learn. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on your experiences. Did you manage to remain calm in the face of provocation? Were there moments where you slipped up and reacted emotionally? This is not about perfection, but about progress. Learn from each experience. Journaling your thoughts can help you track patterns and improve your responses over time. The 7-day calmness challenge isn't just about staying calm for a week. It's about cultivating a lasting change in how you approach challenges, provocations, and conflicts in your life. By the end of the week, you will have strengthened your ability to maintain emotional control, no matter what life throws at you. And as you continue practicing this skill, you'll notice a greater sense of inner peace and empowerment. Remember, this challenge is a tool for growth, and every step you take toward a calmer, more composed version of yourself is a step toward greater mental clarity and resilience. Mastering the art of staying calm no matter what life throws at you is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. The Stoics understood this better than anyone, teaching us that true strength lies in our ability to control our emotions rather than letting them control us. By applying their timeless wisdom, you can build an unshakable mindset, one that remains unaffected by insults, criticism, or any form of negativity. The 7-day calmness challenge is not just about avoiding anger in a single week, but about starting a journey toward emotional mastery. It's about recognizing your triggers, taking control of your reactions, and choosing to rise above the provocation. This simple yet profound practice of pausing, reframing, and responding with calmness can transform the way you approach every situation in your life. As you move forward, remember that anger is not a natural or helpful reaction. It's a choice. You always have the power to decide how to respond, and through consistent practice, you can train your mind to remain composed, no matter the circumstance. With time, these small conscious choices will accumulate, allowing you to become truly untouchable, emotionally free, and at peace with yourself. The goal isn't to suppress your emotions or ignore the challenges that come your way. Instead, it's to approach them with clarity, detachment, and wisdom, just as the Stoics did. By reframing insults, controlling what you can, and practicing calmness daily, you'll gradually find that external negativity has far less power over you than it once did. So take on the challenge, embrace the practice, and see how your emotional landscape transforms. By the end of the week, you won't just have a calmer response to provocation, you'll have unlocked the power to live with true inner peace, unshaken by the world around you.